pre-built solution demo. In this demo, we will show you how one can interact with ChatGPT using Oracle integration. So first of all, before we get into more details, this pre-built solution is bundled in OIC project. As you can see over here, all the artifacts are available for you in the OIC project on the one canvas. So you don't have to switch again and again between the integrations, between the canvas, or between the lookup or JavaScript libraries. Additionally, this pre-built solution is built on Rapid Adapter Builder based ChatGPT adapter. We'll look more into it in the demo. What we have done is we have used the ChatGPT APIs and rapidly built an adapter on top of it using our RAP framework. And using this pre-built solution, we'll talk about more about use case in a moment. We have created a contextual experience. And last but not the least, this also demonstrates how one could use the webhooks in OIC. So with that, let's quickly talk about the real functional use case. So in this particular use case, we'll see how a user asks any query on the Slack, and as that query is received on the Slack, a webhook is invoked, which invokes the OIC flow, and as a webhook is received the information, it invokes an flow 2, which is basically the real engine for carrying out the use case. In flow 2, what we are doing is we are invoking the generate API of ChatGPT, and as we receive the response of the generate API, we are responding back to the Slack thread user the response. So this is where we are talking about providing a contextual experience. Now let's quickly look at the solution live on the Slack. Okay, so for demo, here we are in the Slack. So in Slack, what we have done is we have created a dedicated channel and we have created a bot. So what we are going to do, we are going to use this bot to invoke the webhook, which will reach to OIC and will pass on the query, whatever we are asking, to OIC, and OIC in turn will pass on the query to the ChatGPT. And as we get the response from the ChatGPT, we will get it back over here. So let's quickly ask ChatGPT, what is Oracle Integration Cloud? And as we ask this question, behind the scene, what is happening is it's actually executing, reaching to an OIC, executing and flow, and is going to get us a response. Here we are, we got the response. So if I go and look at the thread, I can see that a response has been received. So this is what we were calling about, that you could create a contextual experience using the Oracle integration on Slack, and it can be used for a number of business use cases. Now let's quickly go on to the Oracle integration instance and see how did we make it happen. Here we are in the Oracle integration instance. Here we can see there are a lot of pre-built solutions which are available, and I can access them from the home page. If I click on view all, I'll be able to see there are 180 plus pre-built solutions which are live right now on the Oracle integration store. To save the time, I already have installed the solution and it's available over here in this particular project. If I click on it, I'll see all the artifacts that constitutes the solution in a single pane. So I can see it contains two integrations, connections, as well as lookup tables. So let's now quickly talk about how exactly we made it happen. So this first solution integration, that is Slack event receiver, is what handles the webhook from the Slack. And as the webhook event is received, it is basically invoking the second integration as we talked about it in our flow. And the second integration basically takes the command or the query which your user has posted on the Slack and executes the command on the ChatGPT. So here is where we were talking about this solution is built on RAP based adapter. So you could see that this is not a REST adapter, but rather you have a native adapter experience where you are actually getting the chat completion message invoked on the ChatGPT, just like any native adapter wise you would do on the Oracle Integration Cloud. and it provides you the same mapping capabilities as you do with the native adapter. And once we have the response, we are going to the Slack to get the message back to the user. How did we made it happen? So on the Slack side, we had created a bot, and for creating the bot, what we needed to do was we needed to configure. As you can see over here, we have created this app, and first is we needed to have an event subscription for this particular event so that the webhook will be invoked. Once we had enabled, we also had to provide the Oracle integration URL that would reach out for this particular event. So we configure all those things. I'm not going to go more in details, but all this information is required to make it happen. Now, to summarize, what we saw today in demo is that a pre-built solution allows you fast time to market. You could easily install it from the home page, configure it, and leverage it. We configured the pre-built solution by configuring the webhook. You'd also need to configure the connections. We saw how we could interact with ChatGPT using OIC, where we asked a query and we got the response back from the ChatGPT. This can be used for several use cases, like if you want to improve the service request experience through generative AI, or you want to use the generative AI as part of your business process automation. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for your time.
Hello and welcome to today's demo. In this demo, we shall go through our new adapter, Google Cloud PubSub. Let's go through few common use cases which can be achieved using this particular adapter. Consider I want to sync the products that got created into the ERP to e-commerce applications, where the e-commerce applications are changed dynamically. So let's deep dive this particular use case with a practical demo later in this video. And the other one is total number of messages that are processed from source to the target. In this case, I would take two applications, NetSuite and the ATP. Consider NetSuite is processing huge number of messages to ATP, wherein ATP is unable to take the load, and I can go ahead and use this PubSub pattern to throttle number of messages that are processed from the NetSuite. Let's now review the use case that I wanted to deep dive. Consider I want to sync a product that gets created in the ERP to e-commerce applications, and these e-commerce applications might get increased or decreased dynamically. For this use case, I used a PubSub pattern to establish a seamless integration. When a product created in ERP, an event gets generated and the OIC listens to this event, publish it to the GCP PubSub. The same message can be subscribed by number of applications. Currently, as we discussed, I have two applications that they are subscribing the message from the topic. Consider a new application that's joining into the group and wants to subscribe the same message from the topic. Now, it's very easy for the new subscriber can just build a similar integration and subscribe to the existing topic of the PubSub. This provides a capability that the source application or the existing subscribers does not really require to face any disturbance in their business as usual. For a moment, consider we have not achieved this use case using the PubSub pattern and build the complete integration and a single integration. In this case, every time a new subscriber is added or deleted, the existing subscribers will definitely has to observe a downtime. But with this pattern, addition of new subscribers or deletion of the old subscribers can happen seamlessly. Hence, the following PubSub pattern would be the best suited for this type of use cases. Now let's see the practical demo using GCP PubSub adapter in Oracle Integration Cloud. So I have created required integrations to achieve this use case. These are the three integrations that I have created. One for to receive the event from the ERP and to publish the same event information to Google PubSub. And other two integrations are the subscribers. The first one is a publisher and the other two are subscribers. These two integrations will subscribe the same message which was published in the first integration and send that information to Shopify and Magento applications. Let's see what is there in the PubSub connection. I have to provide project ID, service account information, and the client ID, client secret. And this is a three-legged OAuth. You need to go ahead and do a provide consent. I have already tested this connection. So now let's deep dive these three integrations. So as I have mentioned, my OIC integration is listening to the event that has been triggered in the ERP for the product creation. So right after the product is created, I'm fetching the related attachment, which is the icon of that particular product, and then pushing that information by invoking PubSub adapter. So let's go and see what's in the PubSub invoke wizard. So I have to go ahead and select a topic. I'm selecting a topic name called demo topic, wherein it does not have any schema associated to it. Hence, there is no schema manually pasted a schema which needs to be associated to the particular messages that are sitting on the demo topic. Let's go into the other integrations. So these two integrations are similar integrations. It's just that Invoke is changed. One for Shopify, one for Magento. So let's review what's in the trigger PubSub wizard. As we have published a message into a topic called demo topic in our first integration, the same topic needs to be selected over here to subscribe it. And as we know, we don't have the schema associated to it. I've got the same JSON sample payload mentioned over here as well. So I've got the message subscribed from the topic. I'm not deep diving into the mapper and the invoke as we already know about this. Let's now run the integration to sync the products between ERP and Shopify along with Magento via PubSub. So these are the integrations which we have already seen. Let me now go back to ERP to create the product. I'm into the ERP screen. I've already keyed in the information that is required to create the product. I want to create a product name called speakers. Let me upload an image of speakers. Okay, I've uploaded the image of speakers, and as I mentioned, I would like to get speakers product synced to Shopify. So let me see whether this product is already available in Shopify or not. I just refreshed. I don't see speakers available. Let me also do a search. No, I didn't find anything. So let me go to the Magento. Go into the product. Let me search it here. No, I don't find a product name with speaker. So let me save the product in the ERP. So let's go back to OIC and click the observe to check whether the product has received here or not. It might take a couple of moments to receive the event from the ERP. So let's refresh it and then see whether we have got it. Yeah, I can see the event has been captured by OIC, and our first integration, which is a GCP PubSub Magento product create, which publishes the message to the GCP PubSub. It is successful, and I can also see other two integration. These two integrations subscribed the same message from the topic and then posted into the Shopify and Magento. Let us go back to GCP PubSub and then see whether I can see the message available into the demo topic sub, which is the topic name. I have used it in my integration. Yes, I can see the speakers product has been published here in the GCP PubSub. So let me also go back and then check it out in the Shopify. Great. I can see the speakers product has been posted here in the Shopify as a product. The same way, let us see it in Magento. I can see the product has got created in Magento as well. That's all for the today's demo. Thank you for listening.
When we are automating invoices, orders, this is just a high level thing that I see. Use case, you can ingest documents from any different way. You know, Oracle Integration Cloud give you all these different adapters. I'm seeing customers utilizing it where they have a email inbox where suppliers are sending invoices to a certain email inbox, and OIC is basically reading those emails, downloading the attachments, sending the document to document understanding, and finally, if the target is a database or a target mostly is an ERP cloud, it is sending that to the ERP cloud. If you want to do two-way, three-way matching, that's also what you can do within Integration Cloud. This is the purchase order invoice that I will be using in my demo. Let's first pass it through the document understanding. So let me go back to key value extraction and load this local file. So let me override that to invoice. Okay. So it will take a few seconds. It will extract. And we will be able to see different fields that it has extracted. So here you can see that it was able to extract the vendor address recipient, which is, I don't know, Thermo Fisher Scientific, vendor address, invoice date, high-level thing that I see, use case. You can ingest documents from any different way. Oracle Integration Cloud give you all these different adapters. I'm seeing customers utilizing it where they have a email inbox where suppliers are sending invoices to a certain email inbox, and OIC is basically reading those emails, downloading the attachments, sending the document to document understanding, and finally, if the target is a database or a target mostly is an ERP cloud, it is sending that to the ERP cloud. If you want to do two-way, three-way matching, that's also what you can do within Integration Cloud. This is the purchase order invoice that I will be using in my demo. Let's first pass it through the document understanding. So let me go back to key value extraction and load this local file. So let me override that to invoice. Okay. So it will take a few seconds. It will extract, and we will be able to see different fields that it has extracted. So here you can see that it was able to extract the vendor address recipient, which is, I don't know, Thermo Fisher Scientific, vendor address, invoice date, line items, and I have more than around 10 lines items there. Now, when you look at this interface, there are two things which are to be noted. One is the request. So this is how my request payload looks like. When I'm going to call the backend REST API, I will be passing this. So key value extraction, I'm passing the document type as an invoice. I need to provide the target object storage because it stores the response in the object storage. And then the response is also a JSON object. Now, I've copied this response over here just so that you guys can, view that a bit clearly. So what you see in the response, it's telling me how many pages in that document, the document type that it has detected. Then it is extracting all the words. It is extracting all the lines. But what I'm interested is in the key values. So the things that you were seeing in the front-end interface here, because as an integration developer, I am interested in what the JSON response looks like. I can see, okay, the name field it has extracted is, vendor address recipient. So within document fields, the field type is key value. This is the name. And the value is of type string, and Thermo Fisher Scientific is the value. Not only that, it provides me the polygons. So what you see over here, that this particular value that it has extracted, which is the first one we are starting, is extracted from this part of the document. So it is giving me exactly from where in the document it has extracted that value. And then there's value. So similarly, all the different key values, vendor name, and when it comes to address, the type will change from string to date. So this is how my JSON object looks like. And this is what I would utilize as part of my integration. Now, let's look at Oracle Integration Cloud. This is Oracle Integration Cloud version 3, the latest and greatest. What I have done here, we are using projects. So I have created a project. First thing, you need to create connections. So let me, sorry. Yeah, so here you have connections. So I have created 4 connections, one for my SCM ERP cloud adapter, 2 connections, one for the object storage, one for AI document understanding service, which I'm connecting via REST API. In this case, I'm using OCI signature version 1. I can use a service invocation REST API as well. And there is a trigger for a REST endpoint. Now let's what should we do? Okay, let's fire it first, and then we go into the integration because it may take 10 seconds. So let's do that. So in my integration, what I'm doing is I am allowing it to load a file. So I'm using the same purchase order. So this is the purchase order that I have uploaded. And in this scenario, I'm just doing it directly from the UI, but the purpose of this integration is you can call this integration from maybe an application. In many cases, I call it from a scheduled parent integration, which is getting all these files from a FTP location or an object storage location or reading it from the emails. So what you see is it has extracted all the key data for me. So this is the order number. I'll just copy because I need it next. But let's look inside the integration, how I build or what are the key components of this integration. The trigger, this was the one which uploaded the file. The first thing I have to do is I have to save this into stage file, and I am calling the OCI document understanding API create AI processor job. So this is what I need to call. So this is, I'm using the REST APIs. I provide the sample payload as a request. So this is what the sample payload looks like. And this is nothing different than what you see. And you can find that in the documentation as well. This is my sample request payload. And I do the same for the sample response payload as well. Now, when I am performing the mapping, when I'm calling, there are certain things that I need to provide for this. Let's quickly have a look at that. Is from a processor config, there are certain things like processor type. I'm using general, and I'm telling it I'm sending some invoices. The purpose of processor type, you use general when you are using the pre-trained models. If you are using a custom model, then you need to provide an OSID of that particular custom model. The features that I'm using is the key value extraction. So as you can see, document understanding service has got different features, table extraction, text extraction. In this case, I wanted to pass the key value extraction. For the input location, there are 2 ways you can pass documents to it. One way is you pass the document inline. So if you have a document which is smaller in size, I think it's less than 5 pages, and then there would be a payload limit as well, 5 MB. Please look at the service limits for that. You can just pass it. Otherwise, you might have a list of document in an object storage, and you can provide the location of that as part of that. And you need to provide an output location, which needs to be an object storage. So I'm providing the bucket name and so on. So this calls the document understanding service. The next bit, the output comes in object storage. So I have then created an invoke for the REST API for object storage, and I'm passing the namespace, bucket name, object name. And for my integration fellow developers, you would have guessed it. I already provided where the output is coming from, going to come. So I map the same values over here. So I know that the document, the response would be here. Now, the interesting bit is the question that I get most often, that is this synchronous or asynchronous? When you are calling it this way, although it is putting the response in the object storage bucket, but it does not give me a success response. I do not move ahead from this unless it has put the response inside the object storage. So I don't have to add any kind of a wait activity. I do not have to go and check that object storage again and again. Basically, what happens when I call this in this mode, which is real time, it will only give me the response in the object storage, or it will give me the response of this API once the response is available in object storage. If I run this in a batch mode, where I might be loading a document of 2000 pages with 2000 different invoices, yes, it will then batch mode will, I need to then go and look at the object storage when the response is going to come. And there are ways we can actually do that in real-time response, like a callback also. So once I have received the response, now I'm going into the ERP Cloud adapter. So what I want to do in this scenario, I want to create a sales order. The ERP Cloud Adapter gives us different options. I am going to use the API of order creation. So I'm choosing query, create, update, or delete information. In the adapter, it gives me access to all the APIs. So I have chosen the sales orders for Order Hub. And what operation I'm running is I need to create a sales order. So I'm choosing create. I've got certain child resources. So while it gives me option to all the child resources, in my use case, I just wanted to add bill to customer, ship to customer, and the item line. So I have added that. And that's all. So that's what was my configuration of the ERP adapter. And now in the mapping, let's look at the mapping quickly when I'm creating the order. As you know, the sales order or any API from Fusion gives me a big payload. But for quick, let's look at what are the fields that I have mapped. Depending on the data that is coming, you can map more values as well, less values as well. But I just want to show you how the mapping works. So if you look at the response that I got, the object storage response, I have saved it in a stage file. So I'm getting that response. And now I'm getting the billing address recipient. Now, if you quickly come over here, let's copy this. Let's search. Okay, so here you can see the key value, name is billing address recipient, and I want to get this text out of it, right? So what you see over here is I am getting the field value, and I am passing, okay, which name of that field label I am looking for. So this is just how you do the mapping, how you perform the transformation, how you extract the data from the JSON object. So wherever you see I am passing purchase order, in this case, I'm getting the purchase order. And similarly in lines, where I'm mapping things like product code, order quantity, again, I'm performing the same old trick. How do I extract the specific values that I'm interested in from the JSON response that I'm getting? So this is how the mapping works. Now, let's go back because I executed it. Let's go into observe. So this is what I had run. I had done a test before. So you can see before starting, I was running. So here you can see it has been successful, and I had copied the order number, which came out of it. Now let's go into ERP Cloud and order management system. Remember, this is the purchase order that I'm trying to create as a sales order inside my order management system. Okay, I copied that. Give me 1 second. Let's copy that again. This is the order number. So 98471 was the order number that was created. And here you can see the billing address. That's the Ashford Hotels. And all the different line items have been created inside my order management system successfully, with the quantities, with all the prices, with the total value and everything, right? So this is what I had done as part of the mapping. Some of the error messages that you see on this side, this is basically the checks happening on the order management side, whether this item is in our inventory or not, and things like that, right? So that's on the order management side of this thing. But using this, what we have been able to do successfully is we have been able to get the order, we have been able to extract the key values from there, and we have been able to create an order inside sales order.
In this demo, we shall see the use case to sync the products that got created in the ERP to Shopify and ATPDB via OCA streaming. So this use case has been achieved using the OIC, and we have used all the first class adapters for the respective applications, be it OCA streaming, Oracle ERP, Shopify, and ATP. So whenever there is a product that gets created in the ERP, an event gets generated and the same event is being captured by OIC, Oracle ERP adapter, and published into the OCA streaming using the OCA streaming adapter. And the same message can be captured by our OIC streaming adapter and then process it Shopify and ATP as well by creating a couple of integrations over here. Later, in case if the customer wants a new subscriber to be consuming the same message that was created in the first step, and then they can create a similar integration to process it to the third subscriber as well. Let's now run the integration end to end. So in order to achieve this use case, I have built 3 integrations, one for publishing the message from Oracle ERP to OCA streaming, and the next 2 integrations are to subscribe the same message from streaming to Shopify and Oracle ATP. Now let me go ahead and create an item in the Oracle ERP. I've keyed in the information of the item name battery and the description ABC battery. Before I go ahead and create the product in the ERP, let me quickly check whether this product is available already in the Shopify or not. I'll just refresh it and then see. I don't see this particular product is available in the Shopify. So I'll go ahead and save the item, save and close. Right after I save it, an event gets generated from Oracle ERP, which will be captured by Oracle Integration Cloud. If I go into the observe, so I should be able to see the event that has been generated and captured by OIC. So I see the message that has come to the first integration. That means the event has been raised. Publisher integration has captured the event and then going to process it to the OCA streaming. Great. Our first integration is successfully executed, and then our subscribing integrations also is able to capture the message from the OCA streaming and process it to Shopify already. Let me refresh it again. Yes, I can see the other subscription integration, which is ATP, also got executed successfully. So now let's quickly go into the Shopify. Let me type the product battery. That's great. I can see my product, which I have just created, is available in the Shopify. I will also go to the ATP. So I just ran the table with the select statement. I don't see the battery product available in the ATP. Let me run the table. I can see my product that got created as a row in the ATP database table. So let's now quickly go into the design time of these integrations. I'm into the first integration, which is the publisher integration from ERP to OCA streaming. Let me quickly check the ERP trigger wizard has been configured to receive the events. So this is the basic info page. I have 3 radio buttons. First one is to receive the events that are raised in the ERP cloud, and the next one is to receive the messages on the callback, and the next one is to receive the messages on an explicit execution of Groovy script. This is a customized one. So let us go to the first option. ERP is by default exposing a lot of events, and all these are being shown over here in the trigger wizard. I have selected item create event, and I have an option to filter the expression. For example, I want to receive only the products that got created in a particular department. So this is the summary page. Let me finish it. Let's also quickly review the connection page of the ERP adapter. So I provide ERP host name, and we support multiple security policy, username, password, auth, code credentials, and token-based PGP key. And we support public gateway and the private endpoint. And the same message, I'm passing it to the OCA stream. So the OCA stream here is invoking the adapter, which is nothing but publishing the message that I have received it from the source application. So I have selected the publish message to the stream here. So I have a facility to select the stream. So I've selected one of the stream that are available in my OCI streaming. And I can also select the partition. So I've selected default partition. That means it, according to the algorithm, it goes and sits into one of the available partitions over there. We also can specify the specific message structure. You are supposed to upload the structure here, and I have uploaded the JSON sample. Continue, and this is a summary page. Let me now go into the one of the consuming integration, which is from OCI streaming to ATP-DB. So here I've used OCI streaming adapter as a trigger to consume the message. Let's quickly review wizard page. So if you remember, while publishing, we have selected one of the stream which is available in the OCI streaming. The same stream has been selected while consuming as well, and the same as partition also. So I've selected the default partition, and the next one is the consumer group. User has to mention the unique name here, and all the consumer groups will be registered in the OCI streaming to make sure all the consumers receive the same message. And you have a polling frequency as well. So according to the frequency, it go and find it out whether it has any messages available to poll it and then process it further. We also have number of messages that can be fetched in a single poll. And the next option is to specify the structure as similar as publishing. You can also mention the headers if there is any. Once you select the structure, you are supposed to upload the structure in any of these format. These are the formats that we support here. Then finish. This is the summary page. Let's now review the ATP adapter wizard for the invoke. In the basic info page, I have three options to invoke the stored procedure, run a SQL statement, and perform the operation on the table. For invoking the stored procedure, in our use case, I'm using perform an operation on the table. You will have multiple options that are available to perform insert, update, or merge and select. As we are inserting the data into the ATP, I'm using insert here and continue. I can select one of the schema available there and then a table associated to it. So I've already selected a schema and the table, which is products. Continue, and this is a summary page. Once you configure both the wizards, be it OCI streaming and ATP-DB, the message structures that are available in both source and the target, you can map the required fields according to the business use case.